She's called a leader of freedom, and tonight her place in history is secure.
12 News' Mike Anderson introduces us to a Marquette professor who's now immortalized at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center in Ohio.
She's called a leader of freedom, and tonight her place in history is secure.
12 News' Mike Anderson introduces us to a Marquette professor who's now immortalized at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center in Ohio.
Okay, punch.
Marquette's Professor Judy Mayotte is a social activist who effectively challenges herself and those around her to choose change and make life better despite the odds against it. She has done it for refugees in a number of war zones. That's a simple description of a remarkable woman whose list of good deeds could fill a book from cover to cover. She has been honored many times. But last week, when she took her place among the first 100 heroes inducted into the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center in Ohio, that was the best.
I actually have never been so honored, so humbled, and so touched by any honor that I've ever received in my life. This is the most meaningful one of all.
The center's mission is to tell the story of the Underground Railroad, the informal network of safe house or stations that helped tens of thousands of slaves to freedom in the North. It was a combination of fight and determination. Professor Mayotte has been a fighter all her life, overcoming polio as a child, and years later, while preparing for a food drop in the Sudan, she lost the lower part of one leg when a plane mistakenly dropped food on her. She fell down, but got right back up.
It just made me turn in another direction. I think that I had a passion for what I was doing, and it was hard for me to think, what am I going to do now? But doors always really open, and one thing leads to another, and so I was very fortunate. And then I met Desmond Tutu and Chris Arons, the executive director of the Desmond Tutu Peace Center, and they asked me if I wanted to get involved in that. And so doors, you know, when a door was really shut on me, another one was truly opened.
The Desmond Tutu Peace Center is being built in Cape Town, South Africa. Professor Mayotte says it will have some of the same philosophy as she found at the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center. She calls it a looking ahead on peace and has set up a program for Marquette students to go to South Africa to study at Bishop Tutu Center. And perhaps she hopes the students will someday themselves become leaders of freedom.
I believe that no matter who we are, what we believe, what our race or ethnicity is, what our religion is, our political leanings, that we are truly brothers and sisters, and I discovered that.
And that's why Marquette's Professor Judy Mayotte was chosen to be among the heroes at the Freedom Center in Cincinnati. Mike Anderson, 12 News at 10.
This will be Professor Mayotte's last year at Marquette. She's retiring to spend more time working with Bishop Desmond Tutu's Freedom Center in Cape Town, South Africa.